run to the Final Four was just crazy, like from start to finish. I think a lot of people, of course, didn't have us there. I think that's what made our team so special because we were a bunch of individuals that just wanted to play for each other and play for Coach Staley. Like we would run through, a wall for her, but I think we took the identity of our coach. A lot of us were very hard-nosed competitors, just hated to lose. And that worked well for us. So it's kind of just like that Cinderella run where, no one had South Carolina in their Final Four. And I just remember the shot against North Carolina that Olivia took, just banked off the side of the goal, and then a shot at the end, with the buzzer beater. It was just like the whole year I remember it was just crazy to me. And I think just that, experiencing that with my teammates and the staff was just an amazing feeling.
Tiffany Mitchell was the first superwoman of the Dawn Staley era for South Carolina basketball. The three-time All-American and two-time SEC Player of the Year was a foundational piece of South Carolina's dominance in the sport over the last decade, and she recently had her Gamecock jersey retired. She joins us now on Gamecock Talk.
Well, Tiffany, big honor for you with the retirement ceremony for your jersey. What was your reaction when you found out?
Coach Staley gave me a call sometime this summer, but I was really excited when she told me, kind of surprised, a little taken back, but again, it's just a huge honor. So I was just really happy and wanted to make sure that I was here to be able to enjoy this moment.
Wait, number 25 here, number 25 in the WNBA. Why 25?
Actually, I think I chose 25 when I was younger. My original number was 3 when I was maybe 7 years old because I was a huge Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson fan. And I think I got somewhere they didn't have 3. So I went with 25 to somehow make it about a 3, 5 minus 2 is 3. So we're going to go with that. And then as I got older, I saw a lot of players wearing it that I liked. So I was a huge Marissa Coleman fan, being that they're playing Maryland, when she was at Maryland. She was 25, and I think Monique Curry, she was 25 as well. So as I got older, I just saw players that had that number, and I just wanted to stick with it.
You were a foundational piece in building this program to what it is now, where it's a national contender every year. You were a part of that in terms of really the first time South Carolina was a national contender, the first Final Four, the first SEC championships, several during your career. What does that mean to you as you look at the program now in terms of the legacy you helped create?
It's just an amazing feeling knowing that I was a part of that foundation, being some of those building blocks to get and to see where South Carolina is now, and now they're known in a national light and as a powerhouse. Just kind of the growth that, I've experienced as a player being here and also under Coach Staley and what she's taught me throughout those 4 years here. I just love to see, South Carolina excelling and being, like I said, that powerhouse and seeing Coach Staley do so well.
You committed to South Carolina when you were pretty young. And I know you were a Dawn Staley fan growing up. Was it always South Carolina? Was there ever a time when you said, nah, I might do something else?
I was at the time not a South Carolina fan. I was a Dawn Staley fan.
Yep.
So being that I was from Charlotte, it was pretty close. I wanted to stay close to my family. Like I said, it was a huge support system, with my mom always being able to get to my games when I was in high school. So I kind of wanted her to be able to come to wherever I went in college. But definitely South Carolina was not at the top of my list. They were on it, though, recruiting-wise. When I played AAU, they showed up to all of my games. Sometimes, the only coaches in the game or at the games, I could always see somebody from South Carolina. And that meant a lot to me. Like I said, because I just liked the relationship building part of it and knowing that they were already trying to build that relationship with me when I was so young, and the loyalty they had meant a lot. So at the time, it wasn't a popular decision to come to South Carolina. So everybody was like, why are you going there? They weren't a top school. I mean, I think they had just got out of the WNIT. So it was a lot of stuff that people kind of raised their eyebrows. But I had enough conversations with Coach Staley throughout the recruiting process that made me feel comfortable choosing it. And when she said, once you come, just trust me, and I got you, and here we are.
Here we are. Well, during the recruiting process, Nikki McCray, one of the coaches here at South Carolina, recently passed away. Talk a little bit about her and what she meant to you.
Yeah, she was a huge part of my recruiting process. I mean, if it wasn't Coach Staley calling me, it was Coach McCray. She was definitely on it like every single day to the point where I had no choice but to come to South Carolina if it was up to her. But she meant a lot to me. She stayed on me. Like I said, wanted me to always be successful. And she could see a lot of myself in her, which is why I think she was always so hard on me, because she was a competitor herself. And she just wanted me to be great, which I appreciated, at that young age, having somebody that cares, just as much as your own mom. It means a lot, and definitely truly be missed. Even when I graduated and was in Indiana the whole time, she would still call me. I remember talking to her all the time, making sure that I was okay, and checking on me. And it's unheard of, with some college coaches. You graduate and you stop talking to them. But she definitely was one that made sure that I was okay. So she definitely will be missed, and I really appreciate her for, where I'm at now in my career, because without her, I probably wouldn't have had as long as career as I had, because she stayed on me. And like I said, I appreciate her so much, and I miss her. I love her, but I know she's doing well.
Let's talk about the relationship with Coach Staley. What was it like as a player, and what's it like now?
Of course, as a player, you get a different side of the coach. So you have your good days, you have your bad days. But I knew at the end of the day, she always wanted me to be successful and to succeed. I think she just wanted to see it, that I wanted it for myself. And once she saw that, she gave me everything she had, whether it was tough love, easy love. She was there to make sure that I wanted to get to wherever I wanted to do in my life, whether that's not playing basketball. She put me in the position to just be successful and grow as a woman. We come here as 17-year-old, girls, and literally we leave as women going into the real world. So I think she just sets us up to be able to tackle whatever comes our way. So now that I'm out of college, we've had a lot of, adult conversations where I'm able to just kind of pick her brain just about, the real world, because, we're kind of in a basketball bubble. Mm-hmm. And once we get to around different people, different experiences, you have to learn how to adapt. And I think she's done a great job of just teaching me how to do that. And I think that's why I've been able to be so successful this far in my career, just because I just adapt to, what I have to do in order to, be great and be successful in what I'm doing.
Talk about becoming a woman. You became Superwoman, I think, by your sophomore year. Your freshman year, you were good.
Yeah.
But the difference between your freshman and sophomore year, you become SEC Player of the Year, and all of a sudden you're this phenomenon, and literally you were called Superwoman because of different things you did. What was the difference between year one and year two for you, and how much you were able to grow as a player?
Yeah, I think my freshman year was just kind of figuring it out, just came in that summer, really with no expectations, and ended up starting my whole freshman year and kind of just throwing out there. And then once I saw kind of what I was capable of doing and the positions and the resources, the staff that I had around me, they all wanted me to be great because they saw that I put the time in and the commitment to be great myself. So that made them want to pour into me even more. So I think that summer after my freshman year, I think I just made up my mind. I'm like, I'm going to come back and just be a better player. I didn't know that it would turn me into Superwoman, but I just wanted to be a better player, a better person, a better teammate. And just took that summer to really just work on my game. I was in the gym all day, literally nonstop, to the point they told me they kicked me out of the gym. Wouldn't even tell me how to turn the lights on. I'm like, how do I turn these lights on? I'm trying to come to the gym. It's like 2, 3, 4 a.m. where I'm just wanted to just get better, and I didn't care what it took. And it worked out for me.
Yeah, I always remember that. You were always, even on game day, you were the first one there shooting before anyone else was there. Mm-hmm. Right? You had a lot of firsts, whether it was an individual or as part of the program. Obviously leading the Gamecocks to their first NCAA Final Four in 2015. The Dawn Staley Award that you took home as the best guard in America. 2-time SEC Player of the Year, 3-time All-American, and the prestigious President's Award at the university. The list goes on and on. What stands out as your biggest accomplishment at South Carolina?
Man, the biggest one? I feel like it'd probably be the first Final Four. That run to the Final Four was just crazy, like from start to finish. I think a lot of people, of course, didn't have us there. I think that's what made our team so special, because we were a bunch of individuals that just wanted to play for each other and play for Coach Staley. Like, we would run through, a wall for her, but I think we took the identity of our coach. A lot of us were very hard-nosed competitors, just hated to lose. and that worked well for us. So it's kind of just like that Cinderella run where, no one had South Carolina in their Final Four. And I just remember the shot against North Carolina that Olivia took, just banked off the side of the goal, and then a shot at the end, with the buzzer beater. It was just the whole year I remember it was just crazy to me. And I think just that, experiencing that with my teammates and the staff was just an amazing feeling.
One memory that stood out about your career here, I think Carolina was playing LSU here, and somebody on the bench for the opposing team, I think, was trash talking you, and you were a well-established player at this point. And I remember you kind of looked back, hit a three, and then ran down the floor and just kind of looked at them. Do you remember that moment, exactly what happened? I just remember thinking, don't poke the bear, but they poked the bear.
Yeah, I mean, I was a pretty chill player. I wasn't one that was huge on trash talking. And it's like, if you do poke the bear, now I'm like, now I have to show you,
Yeah.
So I appreciate them for, igniting that fire in me, because sometimes I was too calm. But yeah, I don't do well when people trash talk me, because then I just take it up another notch.
Well, most folks, if they only saw you on game day, in the games, obviously you're a terrific player. But another thing that I always loved about you here was your sense of humor. And I think one of the things that, again, another memory that stands out, I think game day was here and Paul Feinbaum was doing his show before the game, and they were shooting live for the SEC network or what have you, and you were on the court, as you always were, shooting well before anyone else was in the gym, and then you just started doing a little dance that was carried live on TV, and the hosts had no idea what you were doing. What was going through your mind there? And for folks that want to look for it, I'm sure if you Google Tiffany Mitchell dancing on Feinbaum, you'll find it. What's going through your mind there?
I don't know, that's a good question. I just took it upon myself. I saw a camera. I didn't actually know they were live either.
Oh, okay.
I just thought they were just kind of sitting there getting ready for the game and just kind of going through things. So I was just kind of doing my little dance behind the camera and actually had no idea that it was live. But yeah, I just enjoy life, having a good time. So I'm shooting and warming up. I see a camera and I'm just like, let me dance. And then I'll go back to my routine.
It's just one of those things burned in my brain. All right, so after a great career here, you're taken in the first round of the WNBA draft after your senior year, 9th overall by Indiana. 7 years there, your last season, most recently in Minnesota. So 8 years in the WNBA. What was the biggest transition for you in going from being an elite college player to going against all the elites in the WNBA?
Oh, I mean, it was different for sure. Of course, Indiana had their fair share of ups and downs while I was there. But I just learned a lot about myself. As a person, as a player, going through, those ups and downs of trying to navigate, your own career, and also being there with that team, and a lot of changes that's happened, when I was there as well. So, whether it was good or bad, I still feel like I got something from it. At the end of the day, just like I said, meeting a whole bunch of different people, the experiences, and just being put in positions where I had to, adapt to that team specifically and try to still be successful and still try to be the player that I know I am within those, like I said, the ups and downs of the actual team. So, I learned a lot. Coming to Minnesota my last year was completely different. Feeling that I felt, since the 7 years in Indiana. But again, I'm literally learning every single day, still learning. I was put into a new position this year, my first year as a point guard, on a really good team. So went to the playoffs, and it's like, again, I'm learning always. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the confidence that, Cheryl had in me this season to even put me in that position to try to figure it out. So, good days, bad days, but all of them, days in between, I really appreciate it, honestly.
As you see in the WNBA, just because you get drafted doesn't mean you're going to make the team.
Right.
It's ultra competitive and just making the roster. Obviously, you made that as a rookie, but you've able to build a very long career to this point.
Yeah.
And what's the key to your longevity and success there? Because each year it seems like maybe there's one roster spot a year.
Yeah, definitely just my ability to adapt. Like I said, each team is completely different every year, and each team expects something different from me every year as well. I think they know what type of player I am, but then I have to change into what type of player I need to be for that team in that season. So if that's someone they want to, come out and defend, play 25 minutes, 30 minutes, or it can be the complete opposite. We need you to, again, come out, defend, be a facilitator, maybe play 5 minutes, maybe play 10 minutes. Just being okay with that, being a good teammate, just kind of doing whatever I need to do to be successful. And not, of course, have an ego trip that some people probably would have, not, coming from being able to play all the time to where now you have to kind of adjust to the people around you. I think I handle it pretty well, which coaches, appreciate, because I'm still a good teammate at the end of the day. I still work hard. I stay ready, of course, and when it's my time, it's my time.
You were obviously a terrific basketball player before you got here, but how did playing for Coach Staley, you mentioned you're playing point guard now, how did playing for Coach Staley help you not only in your collegiate career, but in your professional career?
Yeah, I had a couple conversations with her at the beginning of this season once I realized that was going to be my position. So, of course, I was like, I don't really know how to be a professional, point guard. But it wasn't that difficult. I think they didn't put me, I was a lead guard. It wasn't necessarily like point guard, doing point guard things, because they still allowed me to be the player that I was. But just from, being under Coach Staley for 4 years just taught me, like I said, being able to, be just that person that the team needs. So she still told me, do what you do best. And everything else will, handle itself. So I think it was just a learning curve throughout the entire season. Like I said, I had good days, I had bad days. But she told me just, be steady, do what you're good at, and everything else will fall into place.
Now, you've played overseas as well, professionally. Are you still doing that?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us all the different places you've played and I guess what it's like playing in these different countries.
Well, I started out my overseas career in Russia, and then I went to Turkey for 2 years, ended up leaving and played in Israel for 3 years, and then went to Australia for 2 years, and now I'm back in Turkey in another season. So about 6, 7 seasons overseas as well.
So there's no off season for you?
No. So I've been going nonstop, probably since I graduated.
So how do you do that?
I take really good care of my body. If people know me, they know that I'm really big in the weight room, very fit, nutritious. Like
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I try to make that a priority, knowing that I do play year round, and your body, as women, our body is not, built to do those type of things. So of course I had my injuries, throughout my career, but being able to build that back up and having the mindset and the ability, I felt the weight room was a special place for me where I could, feel powerful and just like myself while I'm on the court, being how I play, being very explosive, being athletic, and being able to get to the rim. I felt a lot of that came through the work that I put in off of the court, just taking care of my body, my mind. A lot of that, you have a lot of time overseas by yourself. So mentally, you have to mature as well. And I think a lot of that came from me going overseas. Okay.
Well, when you first started playing at South Carolina, there weren't a ton of South Carolina alums playing professionally, at least in the WNBA, some playing overseas, obviously. Now, you look at the last draft, there's tons of Gamecocks being drafted, and more importantly, they're staying in the league. You look at, obviously, what A'ja Wilson has done, more recently what Aaliyah Boston has done, and then everyone else that's been in the league and doing good things. What does that mean to you to see all these fellow Gamecocks? Some of them were your teammates at some point for a short time, but what does it mean to see all these other Gamecocks in the W with you?
Yeah, I love it. It just, we're a WNBA feeder. I think when you come here and you commit to South Carolina, that's the goal, is to be a professional, to play at the highest level. And I think Coach Staley definitely prepares her players for that next level. And like I said, that's the reason why you come to South Carolina. So seeing that, we've been able to sustain that, with me being the first one there. I was the lone one my rookie year. Who came after me? I think Alicia, Elena, everyone. So now I'm being able to see multiple faces that used to wear a South Carolina jersey as well in the league. It's just like a badge of honor, honestly. They ask you what school you went to when you're in the WNBA, and being able to say South Carolina, it means something. And I think everybody who's, is in the league now knows that. And like I said, when we go out there, not only playing for the current team, but really for South Carolina as well, where we, graduated from. Women's basketball at every level, whether it's college or pro, just seems to keep growing exponentially. This year South Carolina plays a game in Paris against Notre Dame to tip off the college basketball season. You're seeing, more primetime TV, the exposure for women's basketball. Where do you want to see the women's game grow even more, or how can it grow more? I mean, I think just getting the eyes on women's basketball. And like I said, once people see it, they're going to want to come back. So I think that's the biggest part, is just making sure that we have that, recognition, being able to be on TV more often, just being in different places, like I said, in Paris, like those type of things are really growing the game of basketball. I think that's really important, just to be able to, see it and believe it, and then people will come. They'll support it for sure.
We mentioned you playing basketball year-round. You're probably not on campus very often nowadays, but when you do come back, do you feel like people still know who you are? Does your face get recognized?
I haven't been back, honestly, in a while, like maybe like 4 years. So just even being around, kind of like looking around to see if I remember different places on campus. But I guess we'll see once I start, walking around campus.
Okay. All right. So we talked a lot about basketball. What about somewhere down the road, hopefully a long time from now, whenever basketball is done, what do you see yourself doing?
Well, currently, I'm probably doing what I'm doing now. So got certified as a personal trainer, an online fitness coach. No surprise there. Yeah. But I have an online business now where I'm training clients and make customized workouts and meal plans, doing weekly check-ins with them as well. So hopefully I can continue doing that online, but I want to, be in one place and be able to train people, daily, and be able to physically be there. Right now it's hard, just like I said, traveling and being overseas. But I think being in the fitness industry is probably where you'll find me.
So get paid to work out.
There you go. Like I do it anyway,
yeah, right.
So might as well get paid for it, huh?
How can people find you there?
So my Instagram is tiff_fit25. And then there's just a link in my bio that basically goes through the whole process of setting up a consultation and everything, and I'll be able to talk to you, filling out questionnaire, and then we go from there.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. All right. So if you could take a little time capsule and go back, and now grown woman Tiffany Mitchell and 18-year-old Tiffany Mitchell coming to campus, what would you tell her? What advice would you have with her?
Oh, man. What would I tell my younger self? I don't know. I probably would just enjoy, the moment, and, be where your feet are. So for me, I'm one that overthinks a lot and always tries to plan ahead. And I think being in the moment and just being, like I said, being where your feet are and being there and being present could be the biggest thing that I could take away from when I was younger, because I always wanted to do so much and do this and do that and do that, where I just didn't really understand that moment and what was going on. Now, as I'm older, I appreciate each day for what it is, take it for what it is, and go from there. And
I guess starting or finishing where we started with the whole Jersey retirement, got a whole bunch of family, friends. What do you think the emotions are going to be like for you? And I guess, again, what it means to be in this elite company?
I mean, it just means a lot. Like I said, like the university, to be able to recognize me, Coach Staley, to want to do this, like she didn't have to. I just think, I just appreciate that she sees me in this light, that the university sees me in this light. And I'm just excited to enjoy this moment with my friends, with my family. Knowing all the hard work, the smiles, the tears, blood, sweat, tears, literally, that was left here in South Carolina and Columbia. I'm just going to be, very excited to just take it all in on Sunday.